you. Let me start with Saket Gokhale because the TMC is the ruling party in Bengal. Why resort to the use of force to stop what was a scheduled democratic protest by an opposition party? The BJP is, whether you like it or not, the principal opposition party in Bengal, and they have every right to protest peacefully. By cracking down on them in the manner in which the police today have, aren't you giving the impression that you are not broking peaceful democratic protests?
First of all, let me refer to the line that you used, which is peaceful democratic protest. Everybody has the right to protest peacefully. The BJP, there was no crackdown. The police had imposed barricades. Nabanna is a high security area, and the BJP had been denied permission to go to the state executive office where the chief minister sits. This is the norm, not just in West Bengal. This is everywhere around the country. Anywhere you go, there are designated spots. I can't go outside the Prime Minister's office and protest. I have to go to Jantar Mantar in Delhi. Number one. Number two, force was used by the police when absolute hooliganism was displayed by the BJP. BJP goons started pelting stones at the police. They've set a police PCR van on fire. ACP Devji Chatterjee, they say his hand has been fractured. There are shocking visuals of how an entire mob has surrounded police personnel and are beating them and throwing stones at them. Now, please tell me, you are asking about democratic protests. If this kind of a protest had happened anywhere else in the country, wouldn't the bulldozers be out right now? So then, in that case, should we bring out the bulldozers tomorrow against everybody who's involved in destruction of government property and violence against the police?
Sanju Verma, please respond. Setting a police vehicle on fire, arson, inflicting a fracture on a police officer, stone pelting on the streets of Kolkata. That's clearly not a democratic protest. That is certainly not a peaceful protest. And the police are saying they had to resort to tear gas and water cannons because BJP Karyakartas were unruly.
You know, Zaka, I believe that the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. And while I will completely answer the question that you put to me in terms of what happened today, let us not fool ourselves. Let truth be told. The TMC dispensation for over a decade under the Mamata Banerjee regime has been draconian, to put it mildly. And each time their bluff is called, you know, the narrative is almost identical. You know, shoot and scoot. Instead of owning up to what they've done, they actually try and make a scapegoat of the BJP, but it is not going to happen any longer. I remember after the post-poll violence, they said nothing happened. After the Hansakali gang rape, they said nothing happened. After the Birbhum massacre earlier this year, in which 12 people were burnt alive, they said nothing happened. But their lives were actually called out by none other than the Kolkata High Court. And imagine the audacity of the Mamata Banerjee government, that despite the Kolkata High Court handing over the post-poll violence case to the CBI, the Birbhum massacre case to the CBI, the Hansakali gang rape case to the CBI, till today, Zaka, put a hand on your heart. Anyone who follows politics even remotely knows Mamata Banerjee has shown no regret or remorse for the violence in Bengal over the last decade or so.
Because if it was any of us, you
No,
would interrupt.
one second. I'll come back to you. I requested both of you not to interrupt each other while the other person is speaking. I'll come back to you, Saket. 1 second. Let her finish. Please, come on. I said this at the top of the show. Don't make me repeat it, please. Yeah, Sanju Verma, finish.
Thank you, Zaka. And I found a very interesting statement, Zaka, today, before coming on your show. Kunal Ghosh, the General Secretary and National Spokesperson of the TMC, you know what he said? He said actually the people protesting and the people who were, tear gassed by the police and had water cannons thrown at them and lathis rained on them, they were not BJP workers. They were actually, unfortunately, some of our own policemen in plain clothes and media people who were trying to create a ruckus. In fact, this statement of his, which is quite in contrast to what the top leadership is saying, is all over the local news and print media in Bengal. So the fact of the matter is that let the TMC first decide internally who are the people who today vandalize public property. Were they plainclothes men?
No, for the record, Sanju Verma, your leader Amit Malviya also said that it was actually TMC fellows who were in BJP costumes who came and burned the vehicle. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But Saket, you said that, okay, Nabanna is a high security area and therefore, people are not allowed to protest there. But these people were stopped in Howrah, 20 kilometers away. Surely that's not a high security area.
Zaka, you always, every time on your show or even in the beginning of it, you always say, questions should be answered when asked. Did the BJP spokesperson answer your question about the involvement? I mean, your reporters were on the ground here. You saw that the BJP workers were clearly involved in violence. They're clearly involved in throwing stones at the police. They're clearly involved in injuring police personnel. The PCR van was burned down by BJP workers. Are you seriously going to not even show a semblance of neutrality and demand an answer from the BJP spokesperson for that?
No, my job is to ask the questions, whether you answer or not. I mean, I can't force you, I mean, it's a television show, not Big Boss.
No, but they're talking about 100 unrelated things. Are you not going to do your basic job as a journalist?
I asked her the question. I asked her the question just like I'm asking you the question. So can we come back? Can we come back to the question that I asked you, Saket? Admittedly, one at a time. No, the violence happened.
BJP indulged in violence.
Yeah. Can I list out the sequence of events? Can I list out the sequence of events? No one is justifying the violence. It's absolutely reprehensible. But the violence happened post. No, the violence happened post facto. The violence happened because the BJP workers were stopped 20 kilometers away in Howrah. And I'm asking you, yes, Nabanna, no, you can't march to Parliament. You can't march to Nabanna. That's fine. But why are you stopping them 20 kilometers away?
Tell me, Zaka, you never asked this question when people going to Hathras were stopped in Noida itself, not allowed to proceed on to Hathras. Then the BJP was completely okay when they were doing that. At that time, none of these questions were asked. When people were merely visiting Hathras.
Sanju Verma, last year when the farmers came to protest, you did not even allow them into Delhi. You stopped them at Delhi's borders. So how different is what Mamata Banerjee's police did today from what you did last year, or your government did last year?
Let me answer very quickly. First and foremost, nobody was trying to break police barricades and enter, an area which is not meant for public protests and rallies, outside Bolpur railway station, outside Durgapur railway station, and outside Raniganj railway station. When people were just climbing into the trains because they wanted to be a part of this entire exercise, the police unprovoked started lathi charging them without any provocation. So please don't sit here and give a bhashan on transparency, accountability and honesty. And I say this to the Trinamool spokesperson. And the second point, Zaka, which you asked me, let's be very clear. Thank God it was Narendra Modi at the helm and Amit Shah as Home Minister that the farm protests were reined in without bloodshed. Had it been a Trinamool Congress dispensation or somebody like Rahul Gandhi, I don't know what would have happened on the day we saw that insurrection at the Red Fort. Thank God there were 600 kids inside the Red Fort, but a policeman acted with a lot of alacrity.
Okay,